Hello everybody, this is Becky at Aunt Beck's Creations, and today we're going to create with our punches. So pull out your circles, your heart shapes, any punch that's just a basic shape, or if you've got punches like grass, that do grass, stars, apples, anything autumn related, go ahead and pull out your punches. You can use leaves if you've got them, any of that kind of thing. We're going to also use scissors and even some handheld punches, like basic, there's different circles here and a star. And you're also going to need some painty pens. I've got a black, a white, and a gold. You may also want some inks, which I forgot to grab. Hi, Mina. So let me grab a couple inks over here. I'm going to use distress inks. So perhaps some walnut stain. We'll get the peeled paint. I'm looking to see if I have one that's in an orange color. If not, I'll just use Vintage Photo. Give me just a second here. No, I don't. So I'll just use this. So I need this one's okay. I think that sponge is for the green, and this sponge is for the walnuts. All right, so who all do we have in here? I see Ann and Mina. I am over at my sewing table. This is a pull-out desk I'm on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and move my tray over because that's where I'm going to set my stuff to dry. And I've kind of got y'all behind me, so I have to turn back and forth. But luckily, I'm in a swivel chair. I know that some of you enjoyed the summer journal so much, you're doing an autumn journal. I will recommend, and I put a link to her and this video I'm going to talk about here in the description box. It's Ellen Crimmy Trent, artist. She just put up a video today called Easy Watercolor Autumn Landscape. And if you took that watercolor idea and shrunk it down to your ATC size, you could include the ATC, like we did an ATC for every page, that we had. So go watch that after this. And it's a really beautiful, simple watercolor. Not sure why I can't turn light on. That's weird. It's okay. Let me see if I can type in the chat and say hello. I can. Okay. I can see the chat. I can type into the chat. Yes, it was a really simple watercolor. So grab your punches. And what we're going to do is make some cute little embellishments to add to your fall journal if you're doing a fall journal. So I thought we would start. Hi, Sherry. Today I'm going to use just plain cardstock. You can also use your painty papers if you would like to. But today I'm using basically these colors here. I do want a little dish of some sort here. Let me see. I'm just going to snag the top off this tin of paper clips. Because I had some leftovers from the owls I made. We're going to do an owl first. Hi, Brittany. Hi, Kathy. So we're going to do a basic little owl first. Okay. So for the owls I did, and I've got some circles left for their eyes, and I've got my pattern, but I want to show you guys how to do a pattern for the head. And I had a head left. To make an owl head, go ahead and take your circle, it's about 1 inch. If you take that, all right, I'm just going to do one so you guys can see how I drew this pattern out. Let's see, I've got a lot of red. I just punched a circle out like that, and then I laid it on my yellow. All right, so there's how I did that. And then I just drew owly little leaves, ears, or whatever those things are that stick up, and created a pattern out of a piece of cardstock. I can use this over and over again, provided I don't, put it someplace safe. So that's how I made the head. And I would just trace around that. And I traced on the back side of my painty paper with a Sharpie. And I cut it out, and then I would use the front part of this as the face. But again, I want to use the plain cardstock today. I am going to use some of the painty paper little circles that I made with this one. And I don't know how big this one is. I just want to make sure I think it's less than ½ of an inch. I don't have a ruler right here. That's what happens when you decide to do something. I don't know if this even says it on it somewhere what size it is, but it's the Michaels brand Recollections, and it is about, it's not ½ an inch. It is 3/8. So that's what I use on their chest. Let me go get an owl. I've got one here that I made for my sister-in-law, so I can show you what we're going to end up with. Those that got postcards from me already know what these little guys look like. But see, this is what we're going to make, and it's done with just punches, okay? And what the little circles this size, the 3/8 inch size, that's how I did their little roughly chest, okay? So I'm going to set him over here where I can remember stuff and set these back. So we need a head. The body and the wings is created with this 1 1/4 by 2, but use whatever you have. If you have an oval like this, go ahead and use it. If you have a circle punch, you'll just end up with a fat little owl. So let's do 2 owls. We'll do one with the oval punch and one with the circle punch. How does that sound? And so you need 2 ovals or 2 circles. So I'm going to do an oval for the body base, and I'm just going to use it out of this one. And then you need another oval, and let's do a different color. Let's do orange. If I can get it loose. And I'll move all my paper out of the way once I get the pieces I need. So you need an oval for the body, an oval for the wings. I'm going to set those up there for just real quick. And then I'm going to do a green body if I can fit it here. And this is probably supposed to be a 2 inch, but they never are when you measure across. It's about 1.5 inch circle here. So I've got an 1.5 inch circle for the body, and then I need 1.5 inch for the wings. We'll give this one red wings. Basically, the circle for the middle, you're not going to see much of it by the time you cover it with the little pieces, okay? So those are going to be the bodies and wings. We also need to punch out a circle that's kind of roughly like this. I'm not sure if I used that one or the 1 inch one. I bet it was the 1 inch. So I'm going to punch out a couple of these. And these are for, actually I only need 1 circle for 2 owls. Because what you do, let me see if I got that right. Let me see. No, I used the larger one. Sorry. And this one's 1.5 inches, it says. I might use the screen for that. Yeah. And what you do with this is the back behind the eye bit here. All right. And what we're going to do that is I'm just going to kind of eyeball 1/2. And I cut it in half that way. And then I cut it again. And that gives me the 2 for the eyeballs. So I'm going to put that there. I'm going to separate these components. So I'm working on each of them. All right. So one circle will make 2 owls of the roughly circle. Now, if you don't have that, if all you have is plain round ones, but you have some fancy scissors or some, just roughly cut a circle. That'll work too. I mean, these are supposed to be cute and easy. Hi, Joyce. So wonderful to see you in the chat. Mary's here too. Hi, Mary. We're going to make a little owl. All right. So the only other piece we need right now, because I already have, you're going to need some 3/8 plain white ones. So punch out some white and then get something smaller. I see this is slightly smaller in my hand punch, and I punch some black ones. And what you do is you take a 3/8 one like this, and then your hand punch one and layer them up. And what does that make? An eyeball. So we're going to do that. We'll set those over there. We're done with the punches for right now. I told you to punch out your eyeballs. We need heads. So let's trace this out. And let's see. A little red face, or should we do a brown? What color should we do their faces? One little owl is going to have orange wings, and one's going to have I really want the contrast. I think I'm going to do another yellow head. Once I make a pattern for something like the heads, I don't use it. I keep it as my pattern. And I'm just going to trace around this with pencil. And then I'll move all this paper so it's not confusing. If anybody needs me to go back over what items, no, and I will do that. Underfoot. I'm going to move my paper off. I've got my bin down here. We're going to do a couple other little embellishments that you could add. I'll do like Mary and use my trash can as my spare desk part. Okay. So just once you get your little pattern, which is nothing but a circle that you've drawn little owly horny bits on, or ears, or whatever those little bits are, and just trace around it. And if you use pencil, you can erase your pencil mark. If you use marker, try to use it on the back side of your paper so that it's not visible. And I thought we'll do a couple owls. I wanted to do different shapes so that you could see you could make different ones using whatever punches that you actually have. Because not everybody's going to have, you know, ovals and circles. So I thought I would open it up to using other shapes. Okay. Journey's here. Barbara. Hello. Hello. Room's filling up. There's Journey. Hi, Journey. So let me chop these out this way. Save that little bit. You never know when you might can punch out a little piece. And I'm just going to cut these heads out. And you'll need glue, which I got my little glue bot out because Ann was asking me about it the other day. And yes, I still have it. It's just got quick dry glue in it. And I was using glue all the other day because it was easiest to get to. But I went ahead and I pulled out my little glue bot that has the quick dry scotch. Quick dry. So there's one little owl head. It's so nice to have Wednesdays to take a little break from my sewing. I almost got 5 dresses done yesterday, but my back started hurting and my eyes were having trouble because it got dark. It gets dark awful fast when you're sewing. And once I lose the natural light, it's like my eyes just quit. It's like they shut down anymore. I'm thinking maybe I need an eye exam. Might be time to get it checked. I really need to keep it checked. And see, I put that on the front side of my paper, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to flip it over. And if their little horn things don't cut out perfect and look exactly alike, it doesn't matter. These are supposed to be cute, easy little decorations, right? Yes, old lights need lots of light. I think I'm going to bring the chat over with my phone because of the way I'm set up. Y'all are behind me. So if I get out of view, I won't know unless I bring my phone over here and get you guys where I can see you. What did you want, Anne? I got a message from Anne. She just said, super. I just got your message, Anne. Oh, now I'm getting all these others because I touched my phone. Hang on, let's get over here to the YouTube. There's Dawn's commented on something. Dawn Boss. There I am. All right, let's turn the sound down. Oop. And off. And I don't know what Honeyboo is, so we'll skip that for right now. Okay, I'm going to sit y'all off to the corner here so I can see what you're saying. All right, let's start with the oval owl. So that's his base, all right? You're going to take the other oval and just cut it in half, as close down the middle as you can get. Does not have to be perfect. All right, and if you take these 2 halves and you kind of lay it on here, like so, you can see where you need to put the little circles. Now, if you want his wings to be open a little bit more, you can just open it up a little bit more. You can also make ladybugs this way. Do a black oval and 2 red ovals and then punch out some others. If you want to, because everything underneath is going to be covered, you can put a couple light pencil lines here. You just want to make sure that center part is covered with the painty paper pieces. And see, I'm just going to randomly pick up some of these little painty paper pieces. And they're in all different colors. These are some I just grabbed painty paper and I just started punching out. I'm going to bring some of these over here onto the table so they're not all mixed in with the eyeball bits and stuff. And the only thing you want to make sure is that you're not putting a bunch of the same color right next to each other. And if you don't have enough diversity in your colors, which I'm pretty picked over here where I made a bunch of owls. I think I made 9 owls or 10. So I might need to grab some more painty paper. If you don't have painty paper and you've got some scraps of scrapbook paper, this is a good way to use them. It's for the little feathery bit in the middle of the owls. So let's grab, I've got my scraps right here. I'm just going to punch out some more. I think I used the 3/8 inch size. Just punch out some more in some brighter colors. Let's see, what else do I have? We need some. I'm trying to use my scraps. Scrappy bits. Oh, there's a nice red. Let's grab that. And if your painty paper is like this, and you can always aim for what you want, you know, get just the red. That'll add a nice pop of color on it. And I am going to do 2 owls, one little fat round owl made with a round punch, and one with an oval. Working with the oval right now. So always look at your punches as a tool, not just as something to punch shapes, but as a way to make something else. All right, so got my little bit here. Now, if you want to get your fingers all gluey, you can put the glue on the back of them. But I found the other day that if I just squeeze a little bit of glue out, and then just set my pieces on, overlap your line you drew, and overlap the bottom of it, because his wings will come down some. And I'm going to try to put 3 on here so that it covers all of this area here. I'll go ahead and put enough glue on for the next layer too. And you're just going to keep layering him up. See, those are pretty close in color. I probably should have chose something else. Now, when you do your next layer, overlap the 2 from below. So put the next layer so that it covers the between area. Does that make sense, the between area? Can somebody get, Barbara's looking for me. I'm live on YouTube. And she's looking for me live in groups, I guess. Or she can find me. Can somebody put that in Janet's chat? Okay, again, we want to overlap a little bit. So on this one, I'm going to put the one in the middle and then just stick a couple on either side of it. Might need a little bit more glue or spread this out. It doesn't matter if a bunch are hidden under the wings. In fact, it's kind of better if you do have some that's going to get overlapped. That way you don't see the base, if that makes any sense. Thank you. Uh-oh. I have to be careful because this is that Scotch Quick Dry, and it grabs, and it's good to go. You'll notice as you go up the owl's body, you need less and less circles to cover the same amount of space. Now, if you build up so much that the wings are having trouble having a place to grab to, you can always just put just a little strip of paper hidden underneath the wing that kind of just lifts it. Ian's always asking me about things to watch on Netflix. Well, I just watched this whole mini thing on there called Clickbait. Oh, it was good. I enjoyed it. But then I do like crime dramas. So, all right. So we're going to make owls. All right, and you don't have to go all the way to the top because his little face is going to come on there now. So that now we can put these on. And if you don't mind them leaning back a little bit, it's okay. But when you glue these on, you want to glue the center section. So I'm going to put the glue on here. Like so. And you want to line the top of your wing oval with the top of the body oval. And kind of center it. All right, can you see them coming together? Now, if you want to doodle, you can doodle on him now. Doodle on his wings. If you want to cut some pieces by hand that look like feathers and then just cover these whole bits here, you can. I did all the doodling on my little owls after the glue had completely dried, so I just went ahead and put them all together. So we don't need these. We're done with those. There's Barbara Clark. She found me. Hi, Barbara. So now we've got to put his little face on, and you want to overlap this so he looks like a hootie owl. You could almost, if you want to, line the top of his head up with the oval, the top of the oval. That would be cute. So let's do that. I'm just going to put some glue on the top of there and on the bottom of his face, of his head. And I'll just bring the two together. And you can also, if you put his little head on kind of cockeyed, you can add character to the little owls just by position of his head, is what I'm saying. All right. So now the next thing you need to do is to put his little eye flange or whatever on, and you look at them like pie pieces, and you're going to meet them in the middle on his face, like so, and kind of put them up like that. Oh, you know what I did forget that he needs? He needs a beak. And I just grabbed a scrap here, and I hand cut the beaks. I just cut out a little shape. So if I cut this at an angle, that'll fit up in his nose. And then you can work on the shape you want his nose to have, or his beak. Doesn't have to be perfect. So we're going to glue his little eye flange on, flanges, whatever you want to call them here. I might have to go feed Tippy. He's starting to be annoying. And I'm putting the little ruffly bit just so it's just beyond the face. See how much is showing? And then I'll do the same on the other side. And remember, this is just a single cut. And if you wanted to, you could ink all the components. If you want to ink all those little circles, it would give it more dimension. I wanted this to be a quick and easy project though, so I didn't want to add a whole crazy amount of inking, but you can ink it. And I will be doodling on these, but we'll move on and let these dry off to the side. We're also going to make pumpkins, because pumpkins can be made with circles and ovals. All right, so I got his little beak, and I'm just going to kind of fit it up there so that the top of it, he's rubbing on me. You can't hardly see his beak on there. That's where the doodling will come in handy, because I don't think I can even get it to show. There, you can kind of see it there. But when you go to do your doodling after the glue is dried, you can like draw a little line around that. It'll be fine. All right, eyeballs. You need, oh, no, honey, no. Come on, get down. Oh, cats. Let me feed him and he'll leave me alone. course, me opening the can alerted Greg's fluffy cat. It was couch, and I didn't want y'all to hear cat rage. All right, so back to what I was going to say. You need, whoops, the 3/8 inch punch, which I just shot under here, and one that's a little smaller, handheld punch. 2 white ones, 2 black ones. So I'll get the 2 black. There's one. And this is where you can have fun too, because you can make their eyes all goofy looking. You just want white. And I just used cardstock. Whoops, well, there's another black one popped up. No, that's not it. There we go. All right. So you want to put the eyeballs close to Beak. So just put a little dab of glue there and there. And I got too much, but if you leave them alone to dry, it'll be fine. So we'll put that on there. All right. So now you got the 2 little eyeballs. And then just put their little pupils on there. And you can put them in any position you want to give them a quirky little look. And the doodling is what really brings the character. But I try to do several little embellishments at once so I can set them aside to dry. I'm going to cover my glue up while we deal with the round guy. So there's our little oval shaped owl. Oh, Mina had to go? Oh, okay. Bye, Mina. All right, so now we want to bring out the circles. There's our spare head we traced and cut out there. And we've got the 2 little eye flangey bits there. And we're going to use the green as the base. We're going to cut the circle in half. Go ahead and cut it in half. But if you want to give it even more, you could cut some more off from this. You don't have to use the full half circle if you don't want to. And he's pudgy, so let's bring his wings out some. You'll probably need a lot more penny paper circles. You decide where you want the wings to be. The top of them can overlap if you want to. And see, and then when we put his head on, it's just going to be a little chunky owl. And if you want to, like I said, if you layer these up, I'm just going to do this so you see that you can do them a different way. You can cut them in half or layer them. So you're cutting through both of them at once. That way you don't have weird, and then just cut maybe a triangle or a rounded off triangle like that. Then I'll show you what you get, a different look that looks more like wings. See? And all that just by cutting this little bits off. All right. So let's put our wings on. Match the top up there at the top. And I'm going to trace on here about where the little circles need to cover. And I think I've got enough painty paper circles left here. Start at the bottom, work to the top. If I need more, I have more. That's got a little weird piece there. Remember to overlap your lines so you don't have an exposed space. And I don't know where that piece went. That's another red one. We want something different. And then when you use these on your page, you can always Add some little claws, little feet. And I do try to overlap them just a little bit. And we'll do the next row. And remember, you want to go in between so that they are kind of overlapping. That piece of glue is going to be the use an eraser to push it down so I don't have to get my finger in glue. Let's see here. Some of these painty papers are really pale. Let's see what else I have in here. There's a blue one. I'm trying to use what I had left over from the other day. Yes, you could use googly eyes if you don't want to. If you don't want to punch shapes, you could always just add the googly eyes. I just was trying to keep it flat, and the googly eyes do, they stick up. So I was thinking of using these in a journal. So you guys that are continuing the journal project and making fall journals would have some easy elements to add that are from your stash. And I think we've all got so much stuff that we're all trying to use up. And I was thinking, what is something we could use some of our scraps for? And thought y'all might like to know how to do the owls. Oops. You can end up getting gluey doing this. That's the only thing. And I'm awful close up here at the top. There we go. Hi, Janet Mom. We're making owlies. I'm going to spread some glue just on the exposed part of the body. This is where his little wings will go. Remember, line it up at the top of the circle. All right. I'm going to put the head on. I'm just going to put a little bit up here, a little bit on the bottom of the face. And stick it on here, like so. And remember what I said, you can turn his head so it's a little cockeyed so it looks like he's looking at you funny. And we'll do the little flange bits here. Maybe we'll give this one an orange beak so it'll show better. How about that? I'll just grab a piece of orange and do that. But I just love making little things like that. I've always been one that likes little things, little miniature things. When I was little, I had a little collection of mini horses. I've always liked tiny things. All right, I want to do his beak out of an orange so it'll show. I just got a little scrap here. Let's just chop this off like that. And then just cut a beak shape. I cut the top of it so it'll fit between his little eyeball flangey things. These things. So cut a V and then do whatever shape beak you want him to have. It can be as quirky or as long or fat or whatever you want to do. It's your owl. You be you. You make your owl as hooty as you want him to be. All right, let's stick the beak on there so you guys can see this one. That yellow beak just kind of disappeared into the background. The other day I had a tissue handy. All right, then we need another eyeball piece that's about that size here. And we need plain white backgrounds of cardstock. There's one. Some of these are pinky papers. 2 pieces of white cardstock punched at the 3/8 inch size here. These used to be $1, the smaller little punches at Michael's, but I have not shopped at Michael's very much. I did go in there for yarn, but I went straight to the yarn and didn't look at anything else because Scott was waiting in the car, and I don't like to make him wait. Hi, Rachel. So I'm going to put just a little dot of glues in the middle here. Glue, not glues. It's not more than one. It's just one glue. His eyeballs on. I basically try to get them close enough together that you can't see where the 2 little eye flangey things are bumped together face to face. So let's make this one a quirky owl. My goodness, Becky. That's enough glue for both eyeballs. All right. So we'll put one eyeball up there. One eyeball down there. So see, his eyes don't have to be even. All right, so that's how you do little owls. I'm going to set these guys aside and let them dry. And we're going to move on to pumpkins. All right. So now for pumpkins, you can use ovals, you can use circles, whatever. Let's do, I've got all these different sizes here and an oval. You need 3. It's kind of like the whole object of 3. You need 3 of whatever size you're going to use. So, and you can use different colors or you can use all the same. Let's do 3 this size. All right, so there's 3 that size. And then I've got this one here. I'll make some out of this scrap here. 1, 2, 3. There's 3 of those. And let's do kind of a lighter orange out of the ovals. 1, 2, 3. Uh-oh, that one hit the floor. Hold, please. All right. Y'all probably already know how to do these. All right, so we got 3, and we got 1 more size, and I got 1 more color of orange. Let me put these back on there. But your pumpkins can be any color. You know, you can grow white pumpkins now, and you can grow all these different tones of pumpkins, or shades, or whatever you want to call them. You're also going to want some kind of leaf. I've got like this little oak leaf, and I've got this Martha Stewart. So I'm just going to punch some of each kind out. I have painty paper one. Might have to go hunting for them. You just want to add a little pumpkin stem and stuff to it. So I might keep these leaves. I'm thinking I'm going to put 2 leaves per pumpkin. Let me see if I've got enough of these. I got a bunch of these here. And if I wanted to, I could use this kind of leaf too, and then just use just a smaller segment of it. You don't have to use whatever you punched out. Like you could use just the 3 top leaves and chop the others off, or you can just chop these into individual leaves. This paper has a white core, so I might think about inking the edges like for those. You might want a little piece of brown to make stems, which I'm just going to pull this one up here to have some stems for these pumpkins. All right, let's give our pumpkins some dimension. Each one of these shapes of 3s is going to be a different pumpkin. And I'm just going to use some walnut stain. And I'm only going to ink one side. Okay, like think about your each oval or circle as having 2 sides. Only ink one side. Okay, I might do that on all of these so they're all inked. Ink them as little or as much as you'd like. If you want to ink them with a different color than what I'm using, feel free. You be you. You do your pumpkins the way you want to. And you can also add even more of this to the outer edge once you get your pumpkins put together. Don't you know? All right. 5 little pumpkins sitting on a gate. The first one said, "Oh my, it's getting late." The second one said, "There's witches in the air." The third one said, "Well, we don't care." All righty then. All right, so you've got your 3 little guys here. What you're going to do is you're just going to overlap them. You decide how you want to do it. Like this. And I'm going to put the shaded areas to the outer edges. And see, you've got your pumpkin. So basically, overlap these just a little bit in the back. Well, it looks like you just put a little glue on here. Overlap these and kind of keep their bottom even. Like so. And you see, I'll turn them over so you can see. Looks like I've made a butt now. But anyway, that's what you've got there. This one, you might want to go ahead and ink all the way around. So the top one has ink all the way around it. And let's see. I'm going to put the glue just on the edge here and maybe a little bit in the middle. You don't need a ton of glue. It'll just make it smoosh all over the place. All right. All right, there you go. Now we need a little stem. Okay, it's already grabbed. I can't shift it, but if you want to make sure it's perfect, you can. But how many pumpkins are perfect at the pumpkin patch is what you got to keep in mind. I'm just going to chop a little piece of the scrap off. And then I'm going to cut a stem. I've probably got enough here for all of my pumpkins. And it looks like I've got this huge thing, but most of this is going to be hidden at the back. Like that. So you don't have to ink the whole thing. You just have to ink the part that's going to be exposed. Just ink your stem up so it gives it some dimension. And we can also doodle more on this. Flip your pumpkin over. Put your glue on the part that's going to go against the pumpkin. So I've just glued down at the bottom here. See the glue? Look at it from the front so that as you're putting it on, you're getting the glue on the back. Now it doesn't matter. If you don't have leaves that look like pumpkin leaves, just use whatever leaves you have. I'm going to ink this up a little bit. I could ink this with green, but I think it'll add to the vintagey look of the pumpkin if I just use the vintage photo. And these are just the punches I have on hand. So look at your punches in a different way. Use what you have. And you can create your own embellishments so easy with what you already have at home, and you don't have to buy embellishments. So I'm just going to put a couple of leaves on here. Put a little glue on the back of this guy. This is the part that gets me all a mess because I end up with ink all over my hands. So I know it's an oak leaf. You know it's an oak leaf. But when it's in as just a tiny little decoration, does it really matter? No, it does not. And it looks cute. Let's see here. There we go. You can see where I dropped the sponge on there. And you can move it around for a little while if you're using something besides quick dry. And see, you could have added dimension to your little owls too by using the ink. We can put a little ink on the edge of our owl here. Maybe on his head here a little bit. And if you ink the components, it gives them more dimension too. But that just gives a little bit. If you want to do that, you don't have to. All right, so again, we're going to kind of overlap too with the shaded area toward the outside, and you don't need to overlap them much. Maybe about a third of the way. You're just going to overlap them just a little bit. Make us a little pumpkin this time. No fat pumpkin. Go ahead and glue all of these. Yes, they would, wouldn't they? I got too much glue on this one. I can tell already. You just want your front piece to hang a little bit lower. You want it to overlap the bottom a little bit more. Uh-oh, I glued it to the table. I told you I got too much glue. All right, then we'll cut a little stem. Where's that little piece I had? Well, we'll cut another piece off. I must have flung it somewhere. Ink this guy up. Becky can get her fingers to work. All right, and put a little glue down here. Is Candy here? Hi, Candy. Oh, there's the little piece I was looking for earlier. And I may have got this stem a little long on this one. But you know what? It's paper, so you know what you can do? You can snip it shorter, like so. And then just put a little ink on the top of it. And I'll probably just put one leaf because this is a tiny pumpkin. And yes, I know it's an oak leaf. and Rachel and Mary and Lisa. Hi, Lisa. Who else did I miss? If I missed you, hello. I'm trying to do better today. So I just wanted to make some little handmade embellishments for today. And this is giving me a break from the dresses. I do want to get them in the mail to Mari by next week. So I've got 5 more to do. And on the very last dress I sew, I'm going to do a video. And I'm going to sew the dress on the video as a process type video. And then at the end of that video, I'll do a flip of every dress I've made so that you guys can see them. All right, let's do this big fat pumpkin now. Great big one. So put your shaded edges toward the outside. Overlap these as much as you decide you want to. You'll be able to tell if it's going to turn out, the way you want once you start laying them over each other, because it'll be obvious. Oh, let me go down to the bottom. How many pumpkins? I've made 2 owls, 2 pumpkins. Oh, or dresses. I tried to do 5 at once, and I got them to the point of they need the seams done, because you sew them in a little bit different process than putting the facings into the whole dress. You put the facings in, you turn the dress right side out or right side round, because you have to pull the back through the shoulder seams under the facing and the dresses and to the front. And then you sew up the back seam and the 2 side seams, because the back is in 2 pieces. I'm really darkening that down. I don't know if I want it that dark, but too late now. I might have to darken the edges of these up just so they match the other, because I got to thinking about what I was doing with the dress, and maybe this one's been in the mud. I am going to make a total of 15 dresses. So I have 5 more to do once I get the 5 I started yesterday done. But I just went into my stash and I pulled out fabrics that I had enough out of my quilter's cotton that I could make a dress out of. And I've determined I'm not going to put the fabric that was left over from making the dresses back into my stash. I'm going to try to make some more projects for scrap timber. There's a hashtag scrap timber out there. I think it's hashtag scrap timber 2021. And it's to use any scraps, not just fabric scraps, paper scrap. If you look it up, you can find out more details. But yeah, I'm going to do a process video. Cutting out a stem. We'll ink that up. Yeah, that's why I decided I'd do a process video, because it is so hard to explain that without a visual. It's a really cool technique, and the facing turns out, I will say, perfect just about every single time. And I'm not worrying about the ink on the back, because I'm planning to use these as journal fodder. So I don't need the back to be decorated. I might actually do a little bit farther up on this pumpkin. A little bit. Now, if you wanted to, once you get them like this, you could take an X-Acto knife and a cutting mat and cut a jack-o'-lantern face out of this, and then put a piece of black or yellow or orange or a painty paper that looks like fire and put it behind so you can make your own little jack-o'-lanterns if you want to. See, I don't care for that leaf as much as I do the little oak leaves. So I think I'm going to use the oak leaves. Sometimes it's just a matter of trying what you have and go from there. Yep, we're making pumpkins and owlies, Beth. And then what else did I have on my list? Oh, I want to take these and make little clusters that you could add using some other pieces. So once we get some of these made, we can take them farther and turn them into little clusters that you then can put in your journals. There's that one. You can also use your die cuts. Think about your die cuts in a different way. You don't have to use them strictly as what they were called, like, you know, garden fence. You can use a fence for anything. You can use a bench for anything. If you had a little bench, you could put a pumpkin on it. I don't know what all kind of dies y'all have. I was also thinking we might play with stamps, but I know others like to come on in the evenings on Wednesdays now, so we'll see how long my voice lasts too. So we've got some pumpkins going here. Let's do one more set of pumpkins. All right, remember, let's always think about threes. And oh dear, this does look like a butt when you put these two together. Oh goodness. Yeah, put a little glue on, overlap these two circles a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and ink the rest of the way around on this. Put a little bit of glue on here in the middle. Might need to see about putting some more glue under there because that's not wanting to set too good. Now I got too much glue. Nobody's happy. Can't win it. There we go. It's a censored pumpkin patch. All right. We'll do one more little stem out of our scrappies here. This is a very scrappy project. If you want to make little bumpy gourds, you could too, just by using like your punches that are shaped like the little flowery punches. We could make a creepy little, you know, those warty looking gourds and things that you can get in autumn. We could make some of those too. Just chop that off. Uh-oh. Ink it up. I haven't worn my new dress that I made myself yet because it's just been too hot. That dress is kind of warm. I'll wear it with leggings for the fall. I keep hearing delivery trucks. I'm not expecting anything, but doesn't mean my son isn't. Well, that stem is huge. They cut that one kind of long. So there's that. We got a couple little leaves. I'm not going to use these. I'm going to put those in my little tray over here and put them with my remnants. Ink up these. And then we'll go back to the owls because I want to show you guys how I doodle them. Yep, I'm using scraps here. I could put scrap timber on here because I'm using scraps. It's true. All right. Put a little glue on the back. I'm going to set the pumpkins aside. I need to go wash my hands because I've got glue on them. I'm going to bring the owls back over here. I'm going to wash my hands real quick. We'll let these dry and we'll close the glue up. We could do a yellow gourd though real quick. Let me do a yellowy gourd using that that funny punch. Where is it? What did I just had it in my hand. What did I do with that little punch that looks like, you guys are probably saying it's right there in front of you. Oh my word. I'm having a merry moment. I set it aside, Mary, and it disappeared. Let's do a little funny little round gourd. We'll cut out 3 of these and see what if it turns out looking like a gourd or not. I'm losing my gourd around here. You know those warty little gourds and pumpkins you can get? You know the ones I'm talking about, right? Tell me I'm not crazy. And this one, I'm just going to ink up everything. All the edges on these. Now, if I had some orange ink, that could look cool on here. We'll see what we get here. If it looks like a gourd, I just want to show that you can play with this stuff and try something. And if it doesn't turn out, guess what? It's just scraps. You're not out anything if you just try something. If you don't try it, you'll never know, right? Overlap the 2. Put this one in the middle. Just looks like a warty pumpkin. But you could think about your circles and what other vegetables could we make? I mean, you could hand cut little gourds. You know, if you cut out some that are done with painting papers in yellows and greens, you could have some of those odd little squashes that are out at this time of year. You know, the ones they grow just for decorations. Going back and looking in there. Yep, use your scissors. If you don't have punches, just cut the shapes and do them by hand. I mean, you know, the best place to get ideas for simple punch art is children's coloring books because it's all basic shapes in children's coloring books. And you can like look at their basic shapes in there and come up with all kinds of things. Oh, I don't think I have another little owl, little oak leaf, so we'll punch one more. Dab of glue. A little dab of glue will do you. Right. So we'll set the pumpkins aside and the ink aside and the glue aside. I will pull out my painty pens now. Here, I pulled out a black, white, and a gold. I was trying to think of what kind of limited supplies can we use with scraps to come up with something. And I was thinking, you know, you always got some kind of something white that you can do. Now on the little owls, the first thing you need to do is put the little white highlights on. So whatever you do on one eye, do it on the other eye. So like if we did like a little half moon and a dot, and we do a half moon and a dot on that one, see, it gives him little quirky eyeballs. Like that. And you can take your black pens, let me hold them up so you guys can see. See how I put the little highlights on the eyeballs on there? It's hard to see. All right, then take your black pen, and on my little owl, I'll pull this one back in. These are the ones I made to go on the postcards I just made. You can doodle all over the place if you want to, or you can just leave him plain. But I thought, let's do a little, like he's got eyebrows up here on his little flanges. And then you could do like little feather V's. Just put a few little feather V's on here. You do some in black and then some in gold. And you don't have to cover the whole thing. You just have to do like an indication that they are feathers. And then I want to go around his beak so that it shows. So I'm just going to go at the edge of the beak. Edge of the beak. And then on his beak, I'm going to put the little nostril marks. Again, I'll hold it up so you can see what I'm doing. I'll let that dry a minute, and I'll go over to this one, my little pudgy guy here. Keeping some little things like that. Little V's on his wings. Do as much of this or as little, but again, you don't have to cover the whole thing. You just need to do an indication. Maybe there's some feathers there. He is an owl. All right. Oh, Kathy had to go. Okay. Use some of the gold. Now the gold, I always like to have a piece of paper handy. Make sure he's flowing good. Now maybe overlap some of these a little bit. You just want to make sure anytime you're using a gel pen or a paint pen that you don't stick your finger in it until it's had time to dry. Maybe a little highlight on his beak on one side. And all I'm doing is like little checky marks. I'm going to put a little gold on his beak too, right on above that black. If you wanted to add a little bit on his little ear bits here, I'll just add a little gold to the top of his head here. But doodle as much or as little as you want. I'll put some on the bottom of his face, on the edge of his face. Make his face pop out. Maybe on this one I'll add some gold to his feathers, just a little dotty line. Barely touch. You know, with gel pens, they don't like to be pressed on. You have to just barely touch with them because the ink flows out. It's not pressed out. It flows out. So you have to just kind of flow it along here. He's still pretty sticky. Maybe I just want to add a little bit of squiggly lines on the top of his head like that. Again, go in it and add as much or as little as you want. So there's a little owl and there's a little owl. You could decorate his little flanges. Just put some little half circles on there and make that pop. Maybe I'll do that on this one too because I like it. Then I need to look at chat because I see it moving. Oh, talking about something called International Crafters. Alright. So there's our little guys. Maybe if I put them on the ground, they'll show up a little better. They kind of get lost in there. And I might put a little gold on his chest feathers too. Sometimes I think I can go too far on them, but sometimes it's like, more is not always bad. So there's a couple little owls. You can add the doodles, more doodles to your pumpkins and squash as well, if you want to. You don't have to, but you can. I think I'm going to put some gold on the stems. So maybe make it look like the end of the stem is here. Just do an oval there. And then just do some lines. An oval at the top. And then some lines. It's easier on the larger stems. Let's do something else on here. Maybe just do a highlight part. Just do a couple lines on a couple of the sides. Maybe over here. Again, as little or as much as you want, you can add. All right, so now we've got all these little guys. So you could use these as your decoration in your journal, or let's just grab a strip. And I've got this punch that does grass. I haven't used it in a while, so let's see if it still works. If it works at all. And y'all know you take what you've just punched and you line it up with the picture. And that's how you keep your punches. So it looks continuous. All right, that one didn't quite do. And I got grass in my hand here. I'm going to cut this off as a strip. Of course, I've got these. These could be used as grass too, if you wanted to. They're not as cool looking as these. I'll add those to my bits. And I'm just going to cut a strip off with eyeball in here. I was thinking, let's make some little page embellishments. If we cut this in half, we can make 2. All right, so we've got these short little sections here. The owls won't be involved in this. This is just a little, hi Kelly. It's going to be a page cluster to add to a page. So I'm going to ink my grass with a couple shades. I'm going to do some of the walnut stain, just a little. See, I'm not trying to do edges or anything. I'm just trying to add just a little bit of ink. So that was the walnut stain. I'll pull out this peel paint. This is also using things I haven't used in a while. And look, it's very green. And I need a napkin because I overfilled this one. So it's got a lot of ink in it. And I got to make sure I clean all of this up before I bring the dresses back over here. And then I'm just going to add peel paint. Just trying to give it some dimension. I might ink the bottom of it so it's good and inked on the bottom so that white core doesn't show. Okay, and that's a really messy mess. Very messy. All right, so now let's do a couple little arrangements here. I think this big pumpkin can stand on its own, but I was thinking let's put this pumpkin behind the grass like this. We'll just glue that on there. Maybe if I can find my glue. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue across the front there. And glue the grass to the front of the pumpkin. And then maybe take this little pumpkin and put it in front of the grass and say we got an instant little bit that you could add to a page. See? Now if you don't have a little punch that does grass, just cut a strip and then cut grass by hand. It's no biggie. Sop up some of that glue. I have to do a really good cleaning job over here. That's an embellishment that you've made yourself. Isn't that cool? Let's do one more. I guess we'll do the big pumpkin. Or maybe we'll just do these two. This and the funny little yellow one. And maybe we'll do all 3. We can do all 3. So let's put this little guy glued onto the front of the big pumpkin over this way. So a little bit of glue here and glue him down there. Oh, see, I have not enjoyed shopping at Target in a number of years. It's just, all right, and we're going to just put a little glue the lowest point of these pumpkins here to glue our grass onto the front of those. Might need to put a little bit more over this way. If I get too much, I'll just pick it up here. The last couple times I've tried to shop at Target, they've had like nothing on the shelves. Like I went looking for diabetic socks and all they had was just a few pair of just funny little kitty looking women's socks. And I was like, nah, I don't think so. All right, I'm going to kind of put him here. All right, so there's a couple little embellishments. All right, now you're saying, what are you going to do with the owls? Well, now we're going to show you how you can hand cut your own attributes. So grab a piece of brown. I want a nice deep brown, I think, like this. We're going to cut tree branches for our little owls to sit on. And I'm going to cut 2 at once. So I'll fold this piece in half, and it's actually, I'll tell you how big my piece of paper is. It's about 3 1/4 by about 4 1/4. And I'm just going to cut it in half. I mean, fold it in half, not cut it in half. And we'll fold it in half so I can cut out both at once. Start at one short side and just hand cut a branch. Think about how it comes out. It'll be wider where it's attached to the tree, which would be the side of your page. And then just kind of cut, kind of wiggly line like a tree would be. And then maybe come out to the edge and chop it off. Then come back from the other angle and cut back in, again with a wiggly motion. Then turn the whole piece and cut a wiggly bit back the other way. And maybe cut out a ways and then maybe cut back. So it's got like a little short limb on it. And then maybe cut back this way. And maybe come back up to the top at the side. And you've cut 2 limbs at once. See there? These will go back in my scrap bin to use later. Again, you can ink them with different inks. You found diabetic socks at Dollar Tree? I will have to check them out because I can't wear regular socks anymore. I swell too much. Again, ink as little or as much as you would like. It's good to know they're at Dollar Tree, though, because I have a Dollar Tree close. So, see, when you ink it, it gives the whole piece a little dimension. So you can always take all of your pieces just a little step farther just by taking a moment to like add inking or add doodling, or don't be afraid to embellish, because, you know, and add to something you've punched out. What's it going to hurt? I mean, it's paper. And you won't know how good you can be at adding to stuff until you try. I'm going to use my Posca pen. And let's say there's a knot on this tree, right where that funny little bulb is. And just do a circle and then do a patchy, jumpy little line on either side. And then just add some little dotty lines out the length of the tree limb. Like that. And see, you've got a tree limb that looks like real wood. You want your tree to have more knots in it. It's just a little circle with a little bit around it. That's all there is to it. Not hard at all. All right. Then we'll add our little owls. Hopefully they're dry. Just add them to the edge. Now, if you put them like that, their little feet would be covered. But if you rise up a little bit, you can add little claws on it. That is entirely up to you, if you want them to have feet or not. This one I'm going to set up just a little bit, and I'm just going to put glue on the very bottom of those circles and maybe the wing tips. Maybe just set him on like so. And that's an embellishment that you've made yourself. Oops. And these are things you can make and stick in Happy Mail too. I'm sure there's people that would love to get, you know, something you've made yourself. What time are we at? At 5 o'clock. All right. So see, I made little embellishments. Did everybody play along? Am I going to see a bunch of owls and pumpkins? Or are you just taking notes today? I'm definitely going to have to clean that up before I go back over here. I'll put these on here so you can see them a little better. So if you guys kind of like this idea, I will think up some more things that we can make next week with either die cuts or I've got another thing we can do. Next week, let's do this. Next week, let's bring our not our punches. We've done punches. Next week, we will use stamps. Stamps and embossing powder next week, okay? The glue that's in here is Scotch Quick Dry Glue, but it's in a baby bot. Look up baby bot, spelled just like this. Babe bot. And what you do, it's an empty bottle, and you fill it all the way to the top with whatever glue you want to put in it. You put this lid on once it's full, and then you never loosen this lid again until you need to refill the bottle. Because as you squeeze this, and it's got a little place for this cap to stick on here, as you squeeze it, it forces the air that's trapped in here to push the glue up and out. And you don't have to take all the time to shake the glue back down to the tip because it just pushes it right back out the top there. And then when you let go and you're not squeezing the bottle anymore, it pulls it back inside, and then you just put your little lid on. So that's me endorsing a product, not getting paid for it. But I love these glue bots. I like the smaller ones better than the big ones. So this is a, let me look, tell you which kind it is. It's a 4 ounce. The 4 ounce glue bottle is the best because you don't have to have quite as much glue to fill them up. Bye, Cheryl. All right, guys. So next week we'll make some embellishments. Again, they will be embellishments that you could send in Happy Mail. And before everybody takes off, I've only got 15 people in here, but I was going to give these away. So I guess put in some numbers between 1 and 50 instead of 1 and 100. Put 1 to 50, and I will do random.org, and I will pull 2 numbers, and whoever's closest without going over, I'll put these 2 together and these 2 together. And the first one will get this one, and the second one will get this one. So 1 to 50 without going over, and anywhere in the world, because these won't cost hardly anything to mail. They're very thin, but I will put them in something. All right, numbers are coming in, and there's only 15 of you. Oh, now there's 20, now 22. Anyway. Uh-oh. Riri, try again. All right, I'm going to call it. Last chance. I'll put in stop. Stop. Riri and Joyce, I'll add yours. But now I'm going to stop. All right. Let's see. Okay. All right. I've got stop in different places, but that's okay. I can't see live chat, but on my phone, I'm on live chat. I'm going to get out of live chat and go look up numbers. So give me just a second. Let's do random.org. Number generator. All right, I'm going to bring my light down some so you guys can see. I'm going to clear all the messages because I can look at them. I'm going to blow this up, move it over, and I want back up 50. All right. That little thing's in the way. First one is 47. Who's closest to that without going over? And then I'll generate again, and I got 17. So now if I go back into YouTube, and then live chat. Okay. Okay, let's see. Cheryl gets 17. Cheryl. So Cheryl, you're getting a little pudgy owl in the set of 3 pumpkins. This one's Cheryl. And let me see. You can tell the room's not level, can't you? 47. See, Lisa had 42. Candy went over. So is it Lisa? Lisa had 42. So Lisa gets this one and Cheryl gets that one. All right. And I still have Mina's things here. I need to do a bunch of mailing this week, get all my mail caught up. So thank you guys. All right. I know, Mary, but it happens sometimes. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I will see some of you. Maybe, is Lori going to do a live tonight? That's what I was wondering. Paint Girly, is she going to be live? All right. Well, I had fun. And I hope y'all will take to heart to use your punches and your die cuts to make your own embellishments. And I'll let these finish drying before I put them in an envelope. I'd hate for them to be glued together when they get there. So, all right. Bye, guys.